Hey everyone, welcome to the webinar Beyond Clicks, How Invalid Traffic Distorts Your Performance Metrics. My name is Mikkel, I'm the VP of Growth at Shakr, and with me today I have Patri, VP of Customer Growth APAC at TrafficGuard. Before I hand over to Patri, I just want to give a brief introduction to Shakr. So Shakr is the creative hub for ROI-driven marketing teams, where we help brands boost their campaign performance with better, faster, and more cost-efficient creatives at scale. And we help brands fulfill all of their creative needs for social media advertising in one central hub, where we offer creative services optimized for performance. We turn those custom creatives into templates so you can produce fresh creative iterations on the fly. And our creative automation solutions enable you to scale creative production beyond human limitations. And our flagship solution and main focus at the moment is creative optimization for product-level videos in catalog ads. And if you're familiar with Meta's catalog ads, also known as dynamic product ads, you would know that this is one of the most effective ad formats ever developed. And up until now, it has been a static image format only. But Meta has been working on supporting videos in catalog ads for quite some time, and this will soon reach general availability globally, which is a big deal for advertisers across the globe. So why is PLV coming now? It's because people spend more and more time on video-first surfaces like Reels, and therefore advertisers need to adapt to the new reality and meet their audience in the place and way that they expect to be. So if you want your catalog ads to be delivered on Reels, you need PLV. And we see that advertisers who unlock PLV see a massive jump in Reels delivery, with an increase of catalog ads delivery on Reels from 0.1% to 29% of all impressions. And the best way to get started with PLV is by working with Shakr, and this is essentially how it works. We pair your product catalog with a bespoke video template, and we run that through the Shakr creative automation engine and append videos to every single SKU in your product catalog. And the enriched feed that we generate is simply uploaded to your product catalog as a supplementary feed, and now you have a feed that is ready for PLV. And this is something you can leverage when you're creating catalog ads in your ads manager. So that was a short Shakr intro. Now over to Patri, who will share how invalid traffic distorts your performance metrics.
Thank you so much for having me today, Mikkel. I'm very excited to be here talking about what may not sound like the sexiest topic at first, invalid traffic, but I promise once you understand how it can impact your performance in a positive way, it'll become way more interesting. And I wanted to start by sharing some numbers to put things into perspective and to really show you the impact that invalid traffic has across a business. So eMarketer estimates that the size of the digital advertising market is 455 billion. And all of these numbers are USD, by the way. If you talk to the likes of Adobe, they'll tell you that 28% of all digital traffic is not human. It doesn't come from real people. If you put these two numbers together, it means that there is 127 billion that is lost to non-human traffic every year. And these are figures for 2023. This number increases year on year. Now, Nielsen will tell you that for every dollar brands spend on marketing, they can expect a 2.87 return on that dollar. If you put these two numbers together, it means that every year businesses lose 364 billion in revenue just because of the impact of invalid traffic. Now, here at TrafficGuard, for those of you who don't know, we are an invalid traffic detection and prevention solution. So we help advertisers stop the effects of invalid traffic across their paid media campaigns. And we do this across a few different channels. So I wanted to show you how invalid traffic impacts these channels because it changes a little bit. When we talk about Google Ads, PPC, social channels, we tend to see anywhere between 5 to 10% invalid traffic on those channels. When we talk about mobile app campaigns, and these are going to be, when the brand has a mobile app that they're trying to drive user acquisition of, so new installs of that app, or any event within the app, across those types of campaigns, we tend to see 20 to 40% of all of the installs and events to be invalid or attributed to the wrong partner. When we talk about affiliate marketing, the affiliate channel, and that's when you're working with different affiliate partners to drive purchases of your products and services. Across that channel, we tend to see 10 to 15% of all conversions to be of no value. So the conversion was going to happen anyways, or it's not a real conversion, or they actually breach the advertiser's terms and conditions. It is very common for affiliate campaigns for the advertiser to have some kind of rules against what the affiliate partners can do. A very common one is they do not allow them to bid on their own brand keywords. So sometimes the affiliates will go against this. Now, we've been talking about the impact of invalid traffic from a number perspective. But what is it, invalid traffic? What is it? So the general definition, and this is the one Google uses and many other companies use, is that invalid traffic is any activity that doesn't come from a real user with genuine interest, and it does not contribute towards incremental growth. Now, there's a subset of invalid traffic that actually has malicious intent. So they are sending all of this invalid traffic with the goal of gaining some kind of financial incentive. That side of invalid traffic that has malicious intent is what's commonly known as ad fraud. But then there's other invalid traffic that, while it may not have a malicious intent, it still brings no value to the advertiser at all. And under that, you may have things like accidental engagement, and you may have things like impressions, clicks that fall outside of your targeting parameters. Diving a little bit deeper into what this ad fraud looks like, I wanted to share some of the common threats we see across different campaigns. One of the top ones, the one that people are more familiar with, is bots and malware. So these are not real people. They're basically automated scripts that are designed to send invalid traffic, again, to gain some kind of financial gain. So a very easy example is publishers sometimes will deploy these bots to actually engage with the advertisers' ads within their site and make it look like this publisher has really good engagement metrics. So then the brands are going to keep investing on that site. But the reality of it is that it's actually the bots clicking on the ads. Another common threat is click injection. And this happens a lot across mobile app campaigns where these bad actors actually develop, what it seems like legitimate apps, or they use some tools to actually trigger clicks to the app store. So this click actually happens after the user downloads a new app, but before they've had a chance to open it, these bad actors will trigger that click to make it look like that install of that app was actually driven by them. So they actually get payout for that install, even though they didn't actually drive it. And then there's tons of different attribution fraud tactics that these bad actors use to try to generate that last touch on a consumer, and again, get attributed for performance that they didn't actually contribute to. Now, my recommendation is obviously always to work with an independent ad fraud specialist that can really help you understand what's going on across your campaigns and can actually help you prevent it. But before you even do that, there's already some signs that you can look at across your own data to realize whether you're being impacted by invalid traffic or not. And the reality is that if you're a brand doing digital media, you are going to be impacted by invalid traffic to a certain degree. We work with anyone from very small companies to large enterprise clients, and all of them are impacted by invalid traffic. The key here is to understand how much you're impacted and exactly what it is, so then you can deploy the tools to tackle it. But, as mentioned, there's already some signs you can look for across your own data. So across PPC and social, very common signs of invalid traffic is if you're seeing very high volume of clicks with very low landings. So that volume of clicks do not translate into a similar amount of landings. Another common one is high volumes of unqualified leads. So these bots, they can actually do whatever action you're asking them to do. So fill in a form, request for information, they can complete these actions, but obviously they're not real people, so they're never going to be qualified leads for your business. So across Google Ads and social, those are two things to look out for. Across mobile app campaigns, a very common sign of invalid traffic are paid partners that send huge amounts of clicks, but with a very low click-to-install rate. So that's a clear indication that they're just sending a lot of click spam with the goal of hijacking attribution from other channels. Another common one is, when mobile apps first get started with their user acquisition journey, they typically only start with organic, and then eventually they start adding paid partners. Once they start adding a lot of paid partners, some of those partners may actually be stealing attribution from organic. So if you have added a lot of paid partners and all of a sudden your organic performance starts to drop, that's a clear indication of some ad fraud going on across your UA strategy. And for affiliates, some common signs are high cancellation rates after short periods of time, indicating chargeback fraud. So basically, when someone buys something, they get the product, and then they tell their credit card, their bank, that they didn't actually do that purchase. So they request the money back. And most of the times, merchants are the ones that bear this cost. And another common sign across affiliate of invalid traffic is unsuccessful redemptions of promo codes. And I wanted to show you an example of this because this is a behavior that I do all the time. And I didn't actually realize that bad actors are capitalizing on this behavior to send invalid traffic. So let me show you this scenario with you. So imagine you're going into a brand's website, an e-commerce site, and you're looking to buy a couple of things. So you add those things to your cart, but before checking out, you're wondering if there is a promo code you can use to get a better price. So you go online and you search for promo codes for that brand, and the top results are going to be some of these affiliate sites saying that they have promo codes for that brand. So you go into one of those, you try the codes that they offer you, they don't actually work, and you're like, whatever, I'm just going to check out anyways. So you buy whatever was on your cart, but by doing that, by going into that affiliate site, they've actually tagged that user. So now that affiliate, even though the promo code didn't work, even though they didn't actually show you an ad that then made you go into that brand site and buy those products, you were going to do that anyways, they're actually able to claim attribution for that purchase that you did just because you went to the site and they were able to tag you. The other thing that I wanted to touch on, because, on a channel like Google Ads or social media, it's very easy for advertisers to understand why they shouldn't be paying for invalid impressions or invalid clicks because they are paying on a CPM or a CPC. It is a little bit less easy for advertisers to understand why they shouldn't be paying for those invalid clicks or why they shouldn't be allowing those invalid clicks when we talk about mobile app campaigns or even affiliate campaigns. Because typically across those types of campaigns, advertisers are actually paying based on actual performance outcomes. So they're paying on a cost per install or a cost per event within the app or a cost per conversion. So they're like, you know what, I don't really care about these invalid clicks as long as, I'm paying on these performance outcomes. Well, let me tell you what you should actually care about these invalid clicks. The main issue across mobile app campaigns is not so much that the actual install of the app or the actual event is not real. You are going to have a level of incentivized installs and incentivized conversions, but that's a small portion of the main issue here. The main issue is actually misattribution. So the install and the event, they're actually real, but they're attributed to the wrong partner. So by stopping all of that click spam from going into your attribution pool, you can actually prevent this misattribution from happening in the first place. Because if you don't, then what ends up happening is that you're rewarding these partners for sending you this click spam that is just designed to hijack attribution from your other channels. And you end up rewarding that and not the partners that are actually driving this performance for you. So that's why it's so key to also prevent invalid clicks across these environments. Now, we mentioned at the beginning, in terms of numbers, how this invalid traffic affects companies, but I wanted to touch on, specifically how it affects the marketing team. So first of all, this invalid traffic is actually wasting your marketing budget. A percentage of your budget is just going to waste if you're not preventing this invalid traffic. The second impact of this is that it's also inflating your acquisition cost. It's lowering your lifetime customer value, it's decreasing your average revenue per user, and overall, it's making your marketing not as efficient as it could be. The third impact of this invalid traffic is on the fact that it's polluting your data. So all of this invalid traffic is baked into your campaign data. So you're going to be optimizing towards that. So you're going to be rewarding this ad fraud and scaling up on that fraud. And the last impact of all of this is on the missed opportunity to drive incremental performance. So it's not only that you're wasting all of this budget to invalid traffic every month, it's also that you're missing out with that same budget to actually target more genuine users that can deliver real performance for you. And this is what gets me really excited, because it's not only the impact of invalid traffic, it's also the opportunity. So, I actually used to, be a campaign manager myself, and I know how much work goes into planning a media campaign, from, defining the target audience, working with your partners, deciding the channels, building the creatives, which, you guys at Shakr do a great job at. So there's a lot of work that goes into every marketing campaign. And once you start running those campaigns, then you have campaign managers optimizing to try to get that, 0.1% improvement. But then all of a sudden you have all of this invalid traffic that once you start mitigating, you can achieve significant improvement across all of your performance metrics. So that's really what gets me excited, because it's not just the impact, it's also the opportunity once you start tackling all of this invalid traffic. Now, I'm going to mention a little bit about what we do at TrafficGuard. So again, we are an invalid traffic detection and prevention solution, a lot of emphasis on that real-time prevention, so we can actually help advertisers target more real people and deliver better outcomes across their paid media campaigns. And we do this across a few different channels, mobile app, PPC, social, affiliate. And I won't go into much detail on the product, but obviously if you want to learn more about what we do and how we do it, please come have a chat with me. But the one thing I'll mention is we actually offer advertisers a free audit to really understand how they're being impacted by invalid traffic, give them all of the data on how much there is, exactly what it is, so then they can decide how they want to tackle it. So I actually wanted to show you a couple of real life examples. So the first one is from one of those audits we ran for a large e-commerce app in the APAC region. And we ran these audits for 2 weeks. So when we set up with this app across their mobile app environment, we saw that they had 1.1 billion clicks during that 2-week period, out of which 630 were actually invalid. And because they were letting all of this click spam go into their attribution pool, that resulted on 54% of all of the installs to be invalid. In terms of monetary damage to them, that meant that over a month, they were actually wasting $1.2 million USD on all of this invalid traffic. So you can understand the impact this has on the bottom line of a business. And the other example I wanted to share with you is from this gifting portal client across their Google Ads campaigns. So we did the same thing for this client. We set up the free audit for them. And during that audit, we detected that they had about 8% of their budget going to invalid traffic. This client then signed up with TrafficGuard, and then we started preventing all of this for them. And you can see how that invalid traffic significantly reduced. Invalid traffic is never going to be 0%. Let's be real. But the goal here is to get it as close to 0% as possible. And what that prevention meant to this client is that all of a sudden they had $53,000 per month that they could now reinvest on targeting genuine users that can actually deliver real performance for them. So their overall performance metrics, their conversion rates, their return on ad spend, they all improved after our prevention. And just to recap, invalid traffic is a global problem. It affects every single advertiser and is largely undetected if you don't have the tools to actually look into it. Without prevention, the scale of this fraud and misattribution is just snowballed out of control, and you are rewarding partners for sending you this fraud. Advertisers, they need to have an independent fraud verification solution to help them clean all of this up and make sure that they're scaling with the right data and with confidence. This is exactly what we do at TrafficGuard. So if you want to learn more about all of this and how we may be able to help you, please connect with me. The QR code here leads to my LinkedIn page, so we can connect there. If not, you have my email here as well. And I'll be more than happy to run that audit for you and help you understand how much invalid traffic you have and how we're going to be able to help you prevent all of it. That's it for me. Thank you so much again. Thank you, Mikhail, for having us.